Hi, to continue on with some of the accessories that you can get, not essential, but they're here available if you want to experiment with them. This is bullseye copper foil. It's good for adding decorative elements to the surface or interior of your glass. Copper will react with a number of glasses, so it's important to avoid contamination by keeping the copper from touching the kiln shelf, or use a separate shelf for fusing with metals, basically. It can be cut with scissors, craft stamp cutters like this one, and it will change colour if exposed to oxygen while firing, which will also give you a variety of different results. You can get gold and silver foils as well. This one was only a couple of pounds for 30 centimetres by 20 centimetres, so it's quite a cheap thing to buy and experiment with, although I don't think you'll use it much. Vermiculite, I think that's the way that it's pronounced, board, is another accessory that you can have. It's a cheaper alternative to buying dams, kiln dams. It can be used for that. It's a heat resistant material which is often used to make kiln furniture, and it's stronger and more durable than most fibreboard. It can be cut and tooled like wood or particle board. These are a couple of pieces that I made using it that I carved out. I wanted some little rectangles like that, and I also wanted a spiral piece, so I cut out the shapes that I wanted. And you're probably going to want to get some decals at some point, particularly to make scenic pieces and to give a bit more variety to the type of jewellery that you create. Here's a selection of some of the ones that I have. You can get high fire, low fire decals, and then metallic decals that have a firing schedule of their own. So it's important to keep your instructions along with your decals, because if you come to fire them and you don't know and can't remember whether they're high fire or low fire, I found this a problem. I've had to go back to where I bought them from on the internet and check which they are, which is a bit of a pain when you just want to get on and make jewellery. So best to keep your instructions with them or keep them separate, the higher fire from the low. A couple of examples. This is an all black decal, so I can cut out any shapes that I want, patterns, and also use the craft cutters like I showed previously with the copper foil. You can use those to cut out shapes for your pieces. And this is silver mica decal, which you can cut out similar to the black one. And you don't just have to have black decals, there are a variety of different coloured ones, also white, along with your metallic of gold, silver, bronze. And here are some examples of the coloured ones. These are some white ones. They look pink on when you get them, suppose, so that you can see them, see what they are, but they do fire white, which are useful to have if you've got dark pieces, because the black decals are only suitable for light background pieces. And these are some examples of the effects that you can get with the lighter coloured decals. A coloured decal. And some gorgeous gold metallic decals, and these fire beautifully. They fire a real gold, shiny gold colour. They have a special firing schedule, and here are a couple of pieces I made using those decals. And these are illusion transfers, which are like decals, but they're made by AAE glass and are thicker and more resilient than your normal decals. And they do have some video tutorials on how to use them. Here's an example of a piece that I made to look like a stained glass window. At some point you may want to get into etching your jewellery. Having a little picker like this is useful for getting your stickers off and putting them on your jewellery. This is a cheaper version of the ones that you can. That's pretty much it for accessories. Of course there are other ones out there which, if we need it in the future or if I think are interesting, I'll introduce them in another video. But now, preparing for your first fuse. Let's cover some points prior to fusing, so you have all the things that you need ready to do your first fuse. And the next video we will actually do a basic full fuse. When you start with your jewellery, when you've got your first bits of glass and all that, you're just going to want to try anything, can't you? You're just going to want if you're like me, you're just going to want to get going. Cut a square, put something on top, put some clear on, put some without clear on, just to experiment a little bit, which is fine. So I'll just give you a few words of wisdom, if you like, when doing that, what to do, what not to do. Just remember that you want to be, if you don't want to have to do any grinding to your piece afterwards, try and keep your pieces of glass to a thickness of 6mm. So if you've got 3mm thick glass, only 2 pieces of that. So for example, 3mm. And then, but if you have 2mm glass, the wafer thin glass, then obviously you can go up to 3 layers. You can have your base of Dichroic if that's what you want, or bullseye if you've got other ideas. And you'll probably want to see, this is 2mm, what other effects that you can get by putting other pieces on top. So I just normally take a piece and have a look and see what I think, whether I think it's going to make a nice piece. Remember to tilt it away from you to get the actual proper colours that you're going to get when it's fired. A couple of things to remember is you can't put Dichroic on Dichroic. It won't work. This is what happens if you try to do that, and I do it occasionally in error. And that's this one here. You'll see that how it's repelled it. It's not spread, it's, you know, curled up at the sides. I mean, it has stuck. It will stick to a certain degree, but you know, it's a bit of a disaster really. This is in my scrap pack. And another one here. Unless you split them by using some clear in between, so you could put some of your thin clear in between. If I can just find a piece, and I've got a bit broken piece here. So imagine that's your square of clear, and then you can put that there. So you can have the Dichroic side down, or of course you have your Dichroic side up. If you've got 2mm, if they're all 2mm, this is a 2 and a 3 actually, but if you've got all 2mm, then you're going to want to put some, and you decide that you're going to want to put Dichroic on top. Find a 2mm one. You can either put your clear on top of that, so you've got 6mm, or you can put your clear in between, and then that gives you the option then of having the Dichroic side up or the Dichroic side down. If you're using 3mm, then you just need the 2 layers. Dichroic side up, Dichroic side down. There's a lot of ways of tallying, and I'm sure you've seen it already endless times on the internet. I actually don't do this now. I think you get to the point where you can tell whether it's up or down, but if you actually tilt it to the side and you look at the edge there, and you might not see this on camera, So I'm going to show you another way anyway, but you'll see that it doesn't go, the Dichroic doesn't go to the edge, so because it's not the Dichroic side up. If I turn it that way, you can see the Dichroic actually goes right to the edge of there. It doesn't that way because the Dichroic's on the bottom. So that's one way of telling if you haven't got anything at hand like this. So what a lot of people say is use something on the end there, and you'll see there's a gap between that and the reflection. Whereas if you do it on the Dichroic side, there's no gap for the reflection, and that's how you tell which is Dichroic side up. But you get it wrong sometimes anyway, we're only human, aren't we? So that's one thing. Another thing is, you've got to be careful when you're using, if you're going to use two Dichroics together, that the Dichroic you put on the top is not going to blot out the bottom one. And there are very few actual Dichroics on clear. There are only a few that you can put on top that don't blot the bottom out, and you completely lose your pattern on the bottom. Or you use the blob method, which is just following on shortly in this video. But if I was to put it on top of that at just 6mm, yeah, you can see a little bit of the bottom below it, but not a lot. So it's kind of a waste of Dichroic trying to do that. Even if you turn it the other way and put your layer in between, you're still going to blot out the bottom. Okay, and here's an example of a piece that I did many moons ago, which has done exactly that. The bottom, if you can see, if I tilt it sideways, is Florentine on black. Gorgeous bit of Florentine on black, and I thought, oh, I'll put some, got any of this here. Thought it was very similar to this, but that'll look nice. Well, you can see a little bit of the Florentine through because it's 6mm and there's a clear bit in the middle. But when you look at it straight on, you kind of lose the effect. I guess you see it down the sides because it's not quite so big. But it is a bit of a waste, really. I mean, if you do that and you're not happy and you want to save your bottom piece, you can just grind all that off and then you will just see the bottom piece. But that's just something to be aware of. And you may just want to get a piece of Dichroic and just cap it in clear, which is what this is. You may get such a nice piece of Dichroic. This was just a beautiful piece. I just loved it. That I thought I'm just going to cap it with clear. So that's what I did. So there are your options just to get on and do some straight away. So you'll cut your piece, decide if you're going to have clear in the middle or not, depending which way you're going to have your Dichroic. So if it's down like that, you would need some clear in the middle. You could even just put a thin layer of frit, clear frit on there if you wanted to. The fine or the medium you'd get away with. The powder, you could use the powder just to create a thin layer if you didn't want to put a whole thick layer. Maybe if you've got 2-3mm ones, pieces that you wanted to put together and you wanted to put the Dichroic side down, you wouldn't be able to do it because you'd go over the 6mm and then you'd have to grind it. If you were happy to grind it, then you could do it. So you could just put a layer of the frit, either the fine or the powder, in between to create a buffer. So I'm just looking at the colours on that. That looks absolutely gorgeous with that underneath. I don't know if you can see that. So experiment, do little samples if you want to save your Dichroic, or if you're brave, go ahead and cut your whatever size you want out and fire it. That's what you can do if you haven't yet got a glass grinder and you want to put a bail on. And here's some examples of pieces that I did quite a while ago, and I did exactly that. I just got a piece of Dichroic on black on the bottom and added a piece of Dichroic on top, and the second image that you see is just a piece of rainbow with a clear cap. The others have got a little bit of Dichroic on them, and the last one is Florentine with just a clear cap on that as well. Excuse my budgie. But if you want to do a method whereby what I call the blob method, whereby you then need to either glass grind or cut with a saw. That's in the next video. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you'll join me for the next one. And it would help me if you can like, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you. Bye.